moment filming Big Trouble in Little China?
What was your most enjoyable moment filming Big Trouble in Little China?
Good question. Uh-oh, what?
15 minutes.
Okay.
What did you say? 15 minutes. Get out of here! Hey, I'm kidding. Oh, God, I need to know what that's about. I was scheduled here for 3 hours.
We're going to occupy the ballroom.
Most memorable. Well, I'll just tell you the things behind the scenes that impressed me the most. It was John Carpenter was very generous, and so were the producer, in the sense of hiring as many Chinese and Asians as possible. He needed them because, you know, if you look at the movie, they were more or less the original kung fu of all the John Woo came another century later, so forth, you know, because why those guys, all of those guys, were real martial artists. You know, they were from California and various parts of the United States, and they worked their heads off. There were no wires or nothing. They just did their thing and did it extremely well. In fact, I enjoyed those kind of martial arts more than I enjoy the wires. Because when you do it for wires, you know the guy is not real sometimes, you know, because it's on wires. But these guys have to jump and fight the way they did without fight. And John liked their work so much, he promoted the stunt coordinators to be associate producer and so forth. And so we were very happy that this movie could possibly elevate the Asian American workforce, so to say. And it did in the sense of what you see now. But the dream never came through for those workers because the studio, Fox, didn't want to push that film. As you may, I don't know, who you are old enough to remember, there was not really much publicity put out in that picture because there was some internal battles with producers, directors, or whatnot. So they just shelved that film down and just let it run. You know, they shoved the money into Alien, which came next, and of course Alien just went way up, and Big Trouble stayed level and wasn't known, except in the countries that they did promote it, like Australia and Japan. It was number one. Kurt Russell told me that he saw the Russians and he was in the theater where they have those tests you fill out the blanks about, you know, and the reaction, he said, was one of the best ever. But because the studio did not push behind that film, it became just a mediocre film. But however, I, as Lopan, want to thank all of you for being so faithful and loving that film. Because, you know, I gave it my best. I slept in the trailer, a small, tiny trailer, not a star trailer, just one of those cubby-hole trailers, for about 6 hours at night, then wake up, went into the makeup room. They set up a barber chair there, and Steve Johnson, who later became big time, had his own, he looked at me, and in the preliminary makeup, he says, he touched my face, and he says, "Oh, James, you're the first actor I've ever worked on, or first living human being. I've always worked on only models." I looked at him, whoa. And anyway, he encased my head in those plastic things. I said, "I guess he's kind of what he's doing. I'm breathing through a straw, you know." But he did the marvelous makeup of that old man. But Steve Johnson was a real artist in the sense that he put me in that barber chair, and I had to sort of hypnotize myself, because that first day of doing that old man, it took 9 hours to do that makeup. Wow. And later on in a couple other movies, and one of those makeup people who was associated with the special makeup person, he says, "Steve took too long. I can do the same makeup now in 4 hours." You know. So, but Steve he painted every freckle, every hair, sold it on. One of those guys, you know, I mean, and it took forever. So the first day I worked with that makeup on, I got this heavy. I said, "How much of my face can I move? Because it's very thick, you know. It's not like the ones today. You can digitize things, you know. So I said, can I move? Much can you see me? So we're talking as that makeup is putting on. They put me into the wheelchair. I didn't know how much I said, what am I going to do? I never ran this wheelchair before. I teach that Peter Pan, open the door. I wheel my chair. They put a little mark there. We didn't have much rehearsal, and I stopped right at the mark and says, what do you expect? I'm no Pan. And I did that whole take of that long speech in that wheelchair in one take. Because that was already the 11th hour, we had to put, that was all in one take that we went for some close-up, but we didn't have time for anything else. So in a sense, if you want to be an actor, I guess you just have to work on it, you know, before. In other words, take lessons, try to do your best on theater or wherever you do your thing. Just do your best, give it all you have. I was a civil engineer. Put me into that low-pan makeup, I became low-pan. I'm looking for the girl with the green eyes. And when I find her, I shall marry her. Two girls. And this one has a little spice. So, you know, whatever you've got into you, just pour it into the characters you do, and as an actor, I would encourage you to try it, you know. Never shrink back in a sense that, oh, gee, you know, somebody's looking at maybe I'm not doing the right thing, or, oh, he's going to be John is going to be very perturbed with what I'm doing, or, let's see, maybe I'm not fit for this role. The more negative you get, the worse you do in this world. You just have to think positively, trust yourself, be ready for the thing that you're going to do, and just move forward and do it. So what if you make a mistake at that point? That's your best. You know, nobody asks you to do anything but your best. And if you fail, then you fail. But at least you've given it a try. Had I not given it a try, I would be in civil service in Los Angeles, building curb and gutters. That was my duty. Can you believe that of course, I was just a beginner architect engineer. They assigned me to design the street. I was in the road department in Los Angeles. My job was to put one line down and another one for the curb, and then a third one a little wider for the gutter. That was my job. I said, I can't do this for the rest of my life. So I became low-pan, and the rest of the movies you see, you know, just by going out there and do it. Nobody asked me to do it. And like Benson Fong, the other guy that did all those big movies before me, Last Sunshine, Sun Number One, and Charlie Chan. Benson owned a lot of restaurants. He was very comfortable. He didn't want to go out for the small parts. He says, James, you go out for everything. I really admire you. Well, he was too comfortable, see. He had all the money he wanted to. He traveled the world. He was really serious at being an actor, but he was very good. But me, I just do my best in every role I get for you people. You know, for you only, because I want to act, right? You know, and you want to see me act, so I give you everything I got. Every performance, I never let down, no matter how small the role is. And I thank you for asking me. My 15 minutes is up. There's about,
We have time for one or two more questions. I know you had a
oh,
question.
really? What did you say?
5 minutes.
Get out!
Go ahead, please.
An actor, I think I would have to say, even before I worked with him, Jack Nicholson, it was my role model, you know. Because why? He too, you know, did as you can see from his repertoire, he did all different roles, anything from comedian to heavy, villains to comedy to anything. So I love that, and I myself do, you know, anything from low-pan down to Revenge of the Nerds or some silly Disney things for kids. It was a great pleasure to work with him, and he was my director in that sequel to Chinatown called Two Jakes, you know, very good as a director. And that scene that you saw of me talking to him at the flower garden, I'm so glad that was one of his favorite scenes, because I was told that every time they were going to show a clip of the movie, he shows that scene, you know. And it was good. For some reason, I just clicked together with, locked in with what Jack is doing, and I learned all those things Roman Polanski was doing with Jack Nicholson. Great director. And as a person, as an artist, I've learned how to listen to one who knows, like Roman Polanski, and you try to, you know, not only listen to him, but analyze why he said certain lines of direction. Like he said to Jack, after Jack tried many takes, he said to Jack, "You're not thinking the right thoughts." It was just a pure look, but he wasn't thinking the right thoughts. That stuck in my mind that, you know, when you're an actor, an actress, or a person, you have to think the right thoughts before you talk. You really realize that? And when I look at the athletes being interviewed, you know, after a game and they won the game and they're looking all over the place, that disturbs me. They're not concentrating on that, they don't care about talking. Maybe they do, but they just, they answer the question, yeah, well, you know, it was a tough game. I scored 30 points, but it was all right. You know, they're not really saying something to the audience and being gracious about it. It disturbs me when somebody does that on camera.